All right, we're about to do a show on the need for people to go to prison inside the government, but let's talk about the why first, because that can be that's the main point of most of these things. Why? Well, crime and punishment. It's been something that all societies have wrestled with, well, in the history of mankind. Hammurabi, you've heard of Hammurabi? Doesn't matter if you haven't heard of him, but he was ancient, from an ancient society. And Hammurabi was famous for what? He had essentially a list of laws, a code. Hey, if you do this, you'll do this. You take out someone's eye, we'll take out your eye, that kind of thing. Why was that so famous? Well, it showed that every society has tried to figure out, how do we deal with crime? What's right? What's wrong? We still deal with it today. What's too harsh? What's not harsh enough? If you have a murderer, should you kill him? Give him life in prison? Should you torture him in the public square, pull his fingernails out, leave him to starve to death, burn him alive? These are real questions societies have dealt with throughout history. But the reason societies have dealt with these questions is punishment is necessary. You have to have it. Without some level of punishment, whether you're pulling fingernails out or life in prison, without some level of real, tangible punishment, crime will simply run rampant. That we know too, studying human history. You see it now in America. In big city after big city. Why are all these crime numbers going up so much that they stopped reporting the numbers to the FBI? Why do you think that is? Why do you think cities like New York stopped reporting their crime numbers to the FBI? They stopped prosecuting crime. Crime went up. You have to punish crime. Picture this. You are aware, at least vaguely aware, I would assume, that at some point in time, mid-20th century, the United States government became aware and angry about the presence of the mafia, the Italian mafia, La Cosa Nostra here in the United States of America. And once the United States government took its eyes and focused on the Italian mafia, they went after them. DOJ, FBI, indictments, local police, task force, wiretaps, you name it, they went after them. Now, imagine this. Imagine the government went after the Italian mafia in the mid-20th century. Like I said, all the wiretaps, all the documentation. Hey, we've got you on camera shooting somebody, all these things. And at the end of all that, the government said, all right, it's a lot of murder, drug dealing, prostitution. Mr. Mafia Don, I want your letter of resignation today. It's a joke, isn't it? It's not punishment. What incentive would any of those people have to change their ways if the punishment on the back end was early retirement, probation? Criminals don't change their ways for that. That's not punishment. The United States government is the largest, most well-funded, ongoing criminal enterprise on the planet today. When you look at the various crimes the millions of government people have committed, most of those crimes against you, it could take your breath away when you actually just consider all the horrible things these people have done. Let's look at COVID alone. Just that. Look, we could sit here for 3 hours and go over the examples. Let's look at COVID alone. The United States government just started issuing rules to destroy businesses, to destroy your child's education, to do things to control your body. The United States government, the American president, actually at one point in time told the American people, this was Joe Biden, that he was losing patience with us. And then they announced, remember when they announced that you would be fired if you didn't take a COVID vaccine? You understand that alone? Pause. That alone, that's tyrannical. That's insane. That's criminal. And the people who pushed these crimes, the people who did these crimes, it's not just that they were never prosecuted. They laugh at the very idea that they might be prosecuted. Here was Fauci.
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh at that. I should be prosecuted. What happened on January 6th, Senator?
I have to laugh at that. It's not just that the government is full of criminals. It's that they operate without fear, with no fear whatsoever. In fact, they're handsomely rewarded. Remember the things Dr. Fauci did. He not only tried to, and successfully did, destroy the careers of scientists who were saying, hey, I don't think it came from a wet market. It probably came from the lab over there. Dr. Fauci, that evil little troll, destroyed those people. In the height of the pandemic, he was the highest paid government employee, made more money than the president, destroying lives, lying at every turn, wrecking your business, your health, your child's health, without a care in the world. And so carefree was he about the whole thing. And it was so lucrative for him, he's out there dreaming about the next one.
What is likely to happen, I don't know if it's going to be next year or 10 years or 15 or 20 years from now, is the emergence of another respiratory disease. It may be another coronavirus, because we know that coronaviruses really, mostly in bats, have the capability of binding to receptors that are in humans. It could be another flu. We're dealing with H5N1 now, which is bird flu, which has taken the somewhat disturbing step of infecting mammals, namely cows and cats and other mammals, which means it's adapting itself more to a human. So my concern, Walter, is that whenever that happens, the next outbreak will be of a respiratory disease that's easily transmissible, that has a significant degree of morbidity.
And we are making this a little bit more dangerous with the cuts and our attitude toward science?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Can't cut any of my funding. The next one's going to be deadlier. It was heaven for these people. Which brings me to the Department of Justice. Because, look, the whole point of this show is government people have to go to prison. Why hasn't that happened? It really hasn't happened. I know there's always a Bob Menendez who gets caught with gold bars under his bed and stacks of cash in his suit pockets. I know, but in general, why don't these government people go to prison? Well, how many times during this show have you seen me ask a United States senator or a United States congressman, what can be done to this person? Okay, this person lied. This person did wrong. What can be done? What can be done? And what do they say to me every single time? Every single time they say, well, we referred them to the DOJ for prosecution. Now it's up to them. We referred them to the DOJ for prosecution. Now it's up to them. The Department of Justice is supposed to be the top law enforcement agency, enforcing these laws, not just against you, non-government worker, against people inside of the federal government. But instead, the Department of Justice, under Democrats and Republicans, has become the shield of government criminality because they never, ever, ever actually prosecute government criminals. And I am starting to get very, very concerned that Pam Bondi is going to follow along the exact same lines every other AG did, from Eric Holder to Bill Barr to Jeff Sessions. We could go on down the list. You know why? Because instead of getting press conferences about the FBI agent who's about to be marched off in chains, I get press conferences like this.
We will find out who you are, and we will come after you. Domestic terrorists, foreign terrorists, you better look out because we're coming after you. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. You better watch out because we're coming after you. Let me be very clear. If you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
Justice is coming. Okay? I wonder if Alejandro Mayorkas, you see, he was DHS head. You remember that, right? Head of the Department of Homeland Security. That puts him over Border Patrol, ICE. That puts him as, we'll call him top security guard, if you will, for America. And as top security guard of America, he forced open the door, allowed as many foreigners as he possibly could into the country, criminals, rapists, murderers, drug dealers. He flew as many as he could into the country. I wonder if he's sitting around afraid that Pam Bondi's coming after him. Let's check in with him.
I am very proud of what we did do. I would have liked to have wrestled with the question of communication and narration some more.
Doesn't seem like he's about to be in leg irons, does it? And that's the problem. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.